okay? I am Trish with Unique Me 303 Healing and Empowerment. I decided to go live so I can see if it's going to let me share this video off of my phone without using my laptop. I am planning on going live tonight on YouTube to do some free and paid readings. So if you guys are interested, make sure that you show up for that. So there's been a lot of shifting lately. Many of you are probably feeling that. There's a lot of finishing touches or something getting finished up, something that has been in the works for a long time, or maybe it's some sort of cycle that you've been going through for quite some time and it's now finishing up or ending. But as it's finishing up, just know that you have one foot into a new chapter, into a new timeline. You do have confined, which makes me feel like something that you're doing or something that you're putting time and energy into is making you feel like you're stuck or held back. But what I'm getting from this is that, you know, even if you don't feel like you're moving forward in whatever it is that you're doing, just know that you are. Sometimes it doesn't feel like we're moving forward and we actually have a lot going on. There's things that are changing in the background. There is a message of consistency right now. So if you're not putting a lot of time and energy into being consistent, dedicated, committed, then this is something that you definitely want to change and do. There is a message of the Marian Maiden, which means that there's something that they want you to put your all into. This could be a project, a marriage, a commitment with somebody or something. For many of you, I do feel like this is talking about bringing something together, maybe even getting back to something that you had been putting a lot of energy and time into before. However, I feel like this is going to be like something that either is going to make you or break you. So for some of you, it could be something that you're putting your time back into that you haven't put time into in quite some time. And you might have this fear of, you know, if I do this again, is it going to be fruitful? Is it going to be something that is going to be working out for me or what have you? But they're telling you, again, commitment, consistency, dedication are all things that are going to play out for the good for you in this situation. There's a message of bringing something to order, bringing something back to its original state even for some of you. Which cards do I go to? Thank you. I hope everybody's doing okay. I haven't been live in quite some time. I did end up, I left my job. It was just time. I put in a 30 days notice, and because of the 30-day notice, they ended up coming back and telling me that I could work the weekend, and then starting on Monday, it was my last day at work, and they're paying me out for the next 30 days, which is a complete blessing. This is something that I've been praying about for about 6 months. I really want to put my time and energy into doing readings, healing, helping people to grow spiritually, to get connected with spirit, things of that sort. So prayers are greatly needed from you guys. You know, be my cheerleaders, help support me in any way, shape, or form that you can, whether it's through sharing some of my messages or, you know, just cheering me on through the comments. It doesn't really matter. But I do appreciate you guys, and I appreciate your support and helping me to get back to where I want to be. This is, you know, what makes me the happiest, so I'm getting back to it. There's some things that you need to take an honest look at, some things that you're doing or not doing that maybe you should be doing. I kind of feel like some of you are kind of sitting in the backgrounds waiting on something to happen when it should be you that's putting time and energy into something. It's almost like you've let the fear dictate your choices for so long, or the actions that you put in for so long, that you're kind of just not moving. And this is the time when Spirit is saying, you know, get back to being dedicated, recommitting yourself if you need to recommit. For some of you, that's what it's about, is recommitting yourself into a project or a situation. I do kind of feel like a deer in the headlights, not knowing exactly what to do. So this may be where some of you are at, but I feel like prayer and meditation are going to bring the answers that you need. For some of you, maybe you haven't prayed or meditated, in quite some time, and this is Spirit's way of saying get back to it. Checking in with your intuition, with your gut discernment, with those signs and synchronicities that are happening on a daily basis, or a way of seeing if you're right on target, if you're exactly where you need to be. Many of you may be in this place where you feel like Okay, let me back up a little. You've been in this place where you felt like your intuition wasn't very strong, or either that you couldn't trust it very well. And now you're in this energy of being able to trust your intuition, and maybe even expanding on what your intuition has been giving you lately. And what I mean by that is opening up other doors or avenues that have to do with other spiritual gifts or attributes. And it may just be that because you're putting time and energy into something that you once did, or maybe it's starting a project that you've been feeling for quite some time you need to, rededicating or dedicating yourself to it is going to open up even more of these doors for you to feel more connected, to feel less resistance is what I'm getting from this. Hey Tanner, how you doing? Hi Vatrina, how are you? Awesome, I'm glad you're here. I love you too, Tanner. Thank you. Guys, I'll be going live tonight at 6. Am I supposed to take all of these? None of them. Tonight at 6 Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys are interested in a free or a paid reading, I will be doing that later. I'm not taking any names or anything for it just yet. However, 6 o'clock on here, Eastern Standard Time today. Okay, so we've been getting some sort of indicator as to what the future holds for us. This may be like intuitive type of like dreams that are having, or premonitions, if you may. There's just this deep internal knowing of something that is changing, and it's changing for the better. There may be a time of when you've meditated or prayed about something that you just got all kinds of flashes of images that came and showed you exactly what's getting ready to happen, or maybe even seeing the past play itself out and then getting some sort of hope for the future through seeing the past play out. But either way it goes, for many of you, I do feel like you're getting into this energy of feeling more pumped up for whatever the future holds. And maybe it's not that you're completely excited, but things that you're doing and changing are helping you to get more involved or re-involved, or just giving you that courage to make some sort of change to move forward. Am I continuing with these, yes or no? Which cards do I get to, please? Thank you. What messages do you have for all those who are on an ascension journey? What messages do we need at this time? In love, romance, finance, ascension messages, messages from spirit. Am I supposed to take both of these? Okay, it's time to get out of this energy of feeling alone, being in silence, being in some sort of energy of isolation, and getting into this energy of putting some sort of time and energy into something. Whatever this is, it's something that maybe you've been working on healing certain aspects of it. Maybe you didn't have enough finances, so you've been working your ass off to bring the finances in, or maybe you had a hard time with communication, so there's been some sort of lessons that have been in communication that have helped you to get to where you need to be. Maybe even some sort of job or a relationship or something had a lot of lessons to teach you, so that you, when you move forward, it's going to be more easy on you. And I'm feeling like an effortless type of energy. However, I don't feel like it's completely effortless. I feel like it's more of one of those energies that you put time and energy into, and it just feels like it's at ease. It doesn't feel like it takes a lot of challenges to get to whatever it is that you're moving towards, but there's some sort of energy of action needed. I do feel like if many of you sit on your ass too much longer, it's going to bring this energy of this it's going to pass you by. It's not going to have another chance again. And I feel like for many of you, that's a threat that scares you, and you feeling this energy of, uh-oh, what if this is the last time, is what's making you put time and energy into it. Which card do I go to first, please? So we do have a time of the more dedication, the more commitment that you put into whatever this is that it's referring to. You're going to find that it's going to feel really good. It's going to feel like harvest time, even if you're not seeing a lot of abundance of money or clients or energy or whatever it may be. you are going to see and feel that something very new is going to bring a lot of positive energy. It may just give you all these new emotions that you haven't had in a while, or maybe some sort of sense of joy or peace or whatever it may be, but it's bringing on a new energy that makes you want to just keep moving forward. I do feel like some of you are kind of just sitting on your ass and not putting anything into this project or this situation or whatever yet. And Spirit is kind of yelling at you, letting you know, like, look, we've gave you multiple opportunities and maybe you have only had one opportunity. But what Spirit is saying, this opportunity, whatever it may be, it's about to pass you up. I do feel like many of you feel like you're going to lose some sort of sense of self, or, you know, if you put time and energy into this, it may make you be somebody that you're not used to being or something of that sort. But Spirit is saying this is like making you a new and improved you. This is going to help you to be the person that you've always wanted to be. And I do feel like many of you have had dreams or some sort of aspirations to change some sort of aspect of yourself. And this is what Spirit is referring to. I kind of get the feeling that some of you feel like you're still left in the dark in some sort of situation, or maybe Spirit hasn't given you enough intuitive insight into whatever it is, but I do feel like you're going to get the answers that you need. They are coming. Thank you. And the answers are definitely coming. Some of you may even feel like you don't have enough answers to move forward, but I feel like just getting back into the basics, like recommitting yourself, learning how to rededicate yourself. You know, I'm just going to use an example. For me, I'm a marijuana smoker. I smoke a lot of it. When I do appointments and things of that sort, I don't smoke. I don't allow myself to get into that sort of energy until afterwards. So it's like a treat. It's like a reward for me. So I feel like for some of you, you need to like dedicate yourself in such a way that you have certain things that may be obstacles for you or may get in the way in some way, shape, or form, or may take away from what you're doing. Then set up those boundaries with yourself. Like, I'm not going to let myself do A, B, or C. For, in my instance, I'm not going to smoke until after that appointment is done, or after the live is done, or whatever it may be. And that's just something that I have to stick to and dedicate myself to. So, for some of you, it's finding out what kind of changes can you make at this time so that you can be more in this committed, dedicated type of energy. A lot of you felt like you haven't got enough clarification, or you haven't got enough yes answers from Spirit. You know, maybe you've been praying for some sort of confirmation through people, places, and things, so that when you move in to your next phase in this journey, that you'll have enough clarity. But really what I'm feeling is the clarity is going to come when the clarity needs to come. This is a lot about trusting in self right now and not worrying about what others are doing, or, you know, what kind of things have been set up for you along the way, but just going with the flow. And, you know, what is presented to you that day, you know, through your prayer and meditation, before you even get up and start your day, you're going to have some sort of intuitive insight or some sort of deep internal knowing, or maybe you just have flashes that come to you that say, this is what you need to do for this day. Like today, when I woke up, I knew that I needed to go live. I also knew that I needed to go live before I go live to see if it's going to let me share the video. So I'm hoping that it does let me share this today. I do have a new laptop over here, but I don't have it completely set up. I don't have any kind of antivirus or anything on it, but if I have to use it, I guess I'll use that tonight. Anyhow, so some of you have been waiting on clarity, and again, I feel like many of you will get that clarity through prayer and meditation, especially meditation. But prayer is for asking the questions. The meditation is for receiving the answers that you need. I feel like some of you don't need to move until you receive those answers, or if you don't move in like a physical way, then moving in a way of bringing yourself back to affirmations, prayer, setting intentions, having some sort of goals. That's an action as well. Making goals and then sticking to them. What other messages do you have for us today in love, romance, finance, ascension messages, messages from Spirit or higher self, please? Love, romance, well, these aren't wanting to shuffle today. Am I supposed to continue with these cards? Okay, I'm hearing this. Thank you. Give me 3 more shuffles. Am I supposed to take this? The card that fell down on the ground is a card of abundance, and I feel like the reason why it fell on the ground is because some of you feel like it's going to be hard to reach, or it's going to, take a lot of, movement from the ground up, meaning, you may be starting fresh or restarting something all over again. However, I feel like this is a time when it may not have been completely supported before by the universe, or maybe your guidance team just wasn't completely showing you what you needed to do before, for those of you that are restarting, but now the information is there. It's almost like the stars have aligned. There's been something that has changed, or for some of you, I'm hearing reversed. But anyhow, there's been some changes that have happened that's saying now is the time to go. This is the time to move. The Ace of Trees tells me that there is a new start in something, and I do feel like it's something that's going to flourish and grow. I do feel like this is a situation or a thing that has to do with networking or spreading your branches, so to speak, in multiple directions, not in just one. Do I continue with these cards, yes or no? Two more. Do I from the top? Yeah, it's a time of building your world the way that you want your world to look. Trusting that God, the universe, spirit, your guidance team, your higher self has your back and your best interest at heart. I do feel like this is a time when you feel like you're going to be on top of things, moving into the second part of this reading. It's a time where your faith, your trust, your patience pays off. And this is not just faith and trust in the universe or what God is doing for you, but this is faith and trust in yourself, that you are capable of doing whatever it is to set you off into whatever kind of goals that you have, or whatever this situation is that's panning out for you. I do feel like the king of the world, like something is just turning and changing for the better, but it's because of your changes, your ways of viewing things, and your ways of doing things and changing things up. Which cards do I go to, please? Wasn't expecting these cards. These are love cards. It's not just for romance, though. This could have something to do with, am I supposed to go to this one? This I'm not supposed to take, but I am going to read it because this may be something to do with some of you. Sacred union. Honor and treasure your relationship, for it is truly sacred. Embrace. Through each other, you find the missing pieces. And I feel like this isn't just referring to a romantic relationship. I feel like for many of you, this is just like finding the missing pieces of the journey. There's something that you've been putting together. And I feel like for many of you, this has been for quite some time. It could be years or even just days or months. But there's something that you've been working on putting together. And maybe you put it to the wayside. Or for like me, I had another job that was pulling me away from it, even though spirit had me there for a certain reason. My light was needed in a certain way. It made me feel like I was distant from the things that I love so much. So getting back to that, you're going to see that, rededicating, recommitting, things like that might be challenging at times, but it's also going to pay off. Because why? This is something that I love, something that makes me happy. Playfulness. Laughter is the best therapy. Have some fun together, and remember, love is the greatest healer. And again, I don't feel like this is just referring to people that are in relationships, but when you're getting back to whatever this is, or getting into whatever this is, and putting more time and energy and action, this is that energy of don't take things too serious. Be lighthearted. Allow yourself to play and have fun, and not think that things are so serious. It doesn't have to be serious all the time, is what I'm hearing. Which cards do I go to, please? Thank you. What other messages do you have for us, please, in love, romance, finance, ascension messages? Messages from spirit or higher self, please. Guys, again, be watching for me to go live. I am going live tonight at 6 o'clock. However, I plan on going live quite often, not just to do readings, but to do healings, to just connect with you guys and talk. And I do feel like a lot of people are coming to me constantly with questions about their spiritual journey and what they need to do and what kind of things I could suggest to help them. So I do plan on going live just to have like question and answers, so that people that have questions about where they're at on their spiritual journey may get some sort of answers if they need it. Anyhow, be looking for me to do those things. Give me 2 more shuffles, please. How many cards? So you're on your way back to a place of feeling like you're at home. In whatever situation this is bringing up for you, this is bringing on this feeling of, if I do this, it's going to bring me to this place of peace. If I do this, it's going to bring me some more serenity. If I do this, it's going to bring me more financial abundance. If I do this, it makes me feel like I'm at home. For some of you, if you do this, it may not bring you the financial security that you feel like you're going to receive right at the beginning. However, it brings you this sense of peace and a sense of home that makes you not worry too much about the finances, but worry about what comes after that. I do feel like for many of you, it's time for, how do I say this? Delegating your time to certain projects or certain areas of your life. And it's almost like I see a planner, like a calendar or a planner, where you're planning out your days. This is what I should do this hour, and this hour. And after this, I do this, this, and this. It's almost like planning out your day and putting some sort of time and energy into each specific time. It's delegating your time and energy into some sort of project that you're committing to or recommitting to. And it's going to bring in a inner peace that for most of you haven't had in a long time, or if ever. But this is bringing in some inner peace that is going to help you to feel, for some of you, alive again. And I feel like for some of you, it's like you're birthing something new. So it's making you feel very vibrant, very full, very on top of the world, so to speak. This is a message asking you to nurture your inner child. So that's two messages of nurturing the inner child, of allowing the child to be playful and not taking things so serious. So, however, there's also a message of protecting the inner child. So there may be somebody around you that is causing you to not feel as playful, or making you take things a little bit more seriously than what you need to. These are times of getting rid of those people, places, and things and energies that are no longer in alignment with you. So if that's you, make sure that you're setting up some sort of boundaries, making sure you're getting rid of those energies or whatever it may be. Which cards do I go to, please? Thank you. Sounds good, Vitrina. Guys, I've been seeing 1s and 11s all over the place. I am in a new cycle, so 1 or 11 is like the beginning of some things that I'm going through. However, some of you may be going through that as well. 1 or 11, I see both of those numbers up here quite a few times. So, all right. For many of you, you've been in this energy of taking a time out. You've been... for some of you, you push yourself a little bit too much. I'm just going to speak for myself again about the job that I've had for the past 2 years. I didn't know why I was supposed to be there. I was sent there for a reason. I did what I was supposed to do. However, along the way, it made me feel a little bit distant from my spiritual life. It took me away from meditating and praying as much as I used to. It put me in this energy of, even though I loved my job and I loved my residents and I loved who I worked with, it put me in this energy of, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's exactly what Spirit was trying to teach me while I was there, is that, you know, my assets, my talents, my abilities are needed elsewhere. And now it's time to move on. And it didn't feel real good, but it also at the same time bring me so much peace and joy. And it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders as soon as the whole transition started to happen. However, what Spirit is telling me is that, you know, if you have something that you're moving away from, it's going to feel a little bit yucky for a minute. It may even feel like you're ungrounded and you need to get yourself back to the earth and ground yourself. But a timeout is okay. Okay. Don't beat yourself up for where you've been, because it's exactly where Spirit needed you to be and where your higher self needed you to be. However, if you're feeling like you're pushing yourself too much, take a few days break from getting back into whatever the swing of things is, or whatever you're rededicating or dedicating yourself to. Take a little bit of time, maybe just a day, maybe 3 days. You know, in between my time off from my job, I decided to get my grandson for a couple days, and then I got back to doing stuff today, and then tomorrow I'm going to have my granddaughter for a couple days, and I'm going to get right back to it full time again. I already know what I need to make weekly to sustain me. I already know how many appointments I need to do, how many times I need to go live. I already know what kind of content I'm supposed to be sharing, because I'm not advertising for my business in any way, shape, or form. You guys are my advertisement by sharing these videos, by getting the message out there to other friends and family members and things of that sort. And it just wasn't time before for multiple reasons, because of fear, because of doubt, because of insecurities, because there were still some lessons I need to learn. There were still things I need to clear out. There were still places that my energy and my light was needed to help show me the qualities and the assets that I have to bring to the table. So for some of you, you've been going through things of that sort as well, but now it's time where you don't have to do everything on your own. You don't have to feel like you're going in this completely blinded, but know that you have a lot of support from the spiritual realm and from people that you're going to be getting hooked up with or re-hooked up with that are spiritual friends, family members, things of that sort. What other messages do you have for us, please? You're being warned not to let your negative thoughts, your doubts, your fears, your emotions of the past, things that have came to you in the past when you were committing to something or committing to this particular situation or project. Don't let the old boogaboos get you down and stop you from bringing yourself back out into something, or dedicating yourself into a situation or something. Again, this is a new beginning. So new beginnings come with a little bit of challenges, but I feel for most of you, these challenges are kind of the past. These are things that you've been going through with lessons that's been happening in your life and certain situations that's been happening. So a lot of you do not have to go through these lessons again. It's more like you've got this, put time and energy into it, and you're going to see a lot of fruits and a big harvest for a job well done. I do feel like many of you are also going to get a lot of compliments or may see appreciation coming from areas and people that you didn't think that you would see it coming from before, or maybe you haven't ever seen it coming from before. So this is a good time for expanding because of the compliments that people are giving you. Okay, in the end, we are going to be celebrating some sort of happy life, happy wife, happy children, happy husband, happy whatever. We do have 1010, which is about some sort of ending and a new beginning happening. And I do feel like this is just about your mindset and the way that you view things and the way that you put your time and energy into something that maybe you had put time and energy into before and it just didn't work out for whatever reason. I feel like some of you, though, again, this is a very strong message. Don't let this pass you by. I do feel like some of you, this is your last chance at something. And, you know, maybe you have given something, a relationship or a job or being an entrepreneur, a try several times. And Spirit's like, you know, we've given you the tools. We've given you everything that you need. We've given you enough things that happen for the positive that help you to see that you can trust this situation, but you're still not trusting. So make sure that you're trusting in the situation or this project or whatever it may be, because this is saying it's going to be something worth celebrating and it's going to make you very happy. It's going to bring a lot of joy to your life. Which cards do I go to, please? These or the ones behind it? Attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. So basically what I'm getting from this is if you find yourself as you're recommitting to something or, you know, getting rededicated into something, if you find fear, doubt, pain, insecurities coming back to the surface, then you need to reach out and ask for help. That means pray about it. Ask your spirit team, ask your angels to help guide you through this, because it is something that you will and are capable of getting through. I do feel like it's time for more prayer, more meditation, more getting back to the basics, outdoors, spending time in nature, connecting with the earth. Oneness is my true nature. This is about connection, about being in connectiveness with nature, animals, your spirit guides, your spirit teams, things. That's not these anymore. We're like, okay, thank you. I am being told to get some charms today, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Am I supposed to take any more? Okay. So, some of you are very, very focused on your spiritual health, spiritual well-being, getting more connected. A lot of you are learning about Christ Consciousness, which is that aspect of yourself that is more connected, more ascended, more evolved spiritually, physically, emotionally, energetically. This is that part of you that learns about being a healer and that learns that you can heal yourself and others. This is also that part of you that is highly connected and learns about those spiritual gifts and attributes that you have to bring to the table. The big thing with this Christ consciousness is higher consciousness is what I'm hearing. Some of you are still attached to something right now that you need to detach from. It could be a way of thinking, like having some sort of doubtful outcome to something instead of being positive about an outcome. I feel like some of you may still be connected to your ego, that negative aspect of your ego that says don't do this or don't do that. So make sure that you're clearing whatever it is that this is referring to. Good for one beer. Again, I did feel like some things are going to be worth celebrating. So for some of you, this is giving you that go ahead to celebrate that there is going to be something worth celebrating. However, I do feel like there's still some clarity that's going to be coming. I don't feel like every one of us have complete, clarity on something of that sort, but there's clarity coming. And I do feel like the clarity that is coming due to something that you're going to be successful in or going to help you with something that you're going to be successful in. And I do feel for some of you, there is a new home coming. This is like a key for a new home. So for some of you, you will be moving. I can't. Elsie, hi. I hope you're doing well, hon. Thank you. I will be going live tonight, guys. Again, just a reminder, I'm going live tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be doing free and paid readings tonight right here on YouTube, so be looking for that. I think that I am going to go ahead and end this reading. I hope that you guys have a wonderful evening. I will see you guys tonight. Let me see if I can even figure out how to do this. It's been so long since I went live, so let's see here. I don't know how to shut it off. Huh, guys, it is not letting me shut it out.